Do you want to know why all those self-love tips are not working for you? Because the $11 billion self-care industry has been lying to our face. Think about it. You have written the affirmations. You have bought the products. You have taken the bubble bath. Yet, one critical command still ruins your day. The anxiety still keeps you up at night. And that voice in your head still telling you that you are never quite enough. Here is what they don't want you to know. Real self-love is not built through comfort. It is built through challenge. It is not found in a fancy journal. It's found in the moments of brutal honesty with yourself. And it does not come from treating yourself. It comes from respecting yourself enough to do what's difficult. Today, I'm sharing the 3 uncomfortable truths about self-love that transformed my life and why the path most people avoid is exactly the one you need to take. The first truth that changed everything for me. Self-love grows when you consistently choose what's difficult over what's easy. Think about someone you deeply respect. What qualities do they have? I'm guessing they keep their word, they do what matters, not just what feels good. They challenge themselves. That respect you feel for them. That's exactly what you need to feel for yourself. But here is the problem. Most of us are doing the opposite. We hit snooze instead of keeping your promise to exercise. We stay silent instead of having that difficult conversation. We scroll instead of working on that meaningful project. We choose comfort over growth again and again. Each time we avoid what's hard but necessary, we are sending ourselves a powerful message. You are not worth the effort. I noticed something strange when I began deliberately choosing difficulty. When I made that phone call I had been avoiding for weeks. When I spoke up in that meeting despite my racing heart. When I worked on my side project even when I didn't feel inspired. When I got up early even when I desperately wanted to sleep in. My self-respect grew in many ways no amount of positive self-talk could match. I began to trust myself. I became someone I could count on. This is not about punishing yourself. It's about providing to yourself that you are capable of doing what matters, even when it is uncomfortable. And that proof, that evidence, builds more genuine self-love than any affirmation ever could. As author Galen Doyle puts it, we can do hard things, and when we consistently do them, we become someone we are proud to be. The second truth, you cannot truly love what you do not honestly know. We have been taught that self-love means focusing only on the positive. But real love, think about it, real love sees everything and accepts anyway. I have spent years running from parts of myself, my tendency to overthink everything, my impatience. I try to positive think these aspects away, but they never left because they are part of who I am. True self-acceptance began when I had the courage to acknowledge my whole self, my flaws, my quirks, talents, and all, without immediate judgment or desperate need to fix everything. This looks like noticing when you mess up and simply stating, I handled that poorly, without the brutal self-criticism that usually follows. Recognizing your patterns with curiosity instead of shame. Acknowledging your strengths without downplaying them. As Oscar Wilde said, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. But you cannot truly be yourself until you honestly know who that self is. The paradox, when I stopped running from my flaws and instead embraced my full humanity, those negative aspects lost their power over me. Self-awareness paired with self-compassion created more freedom than denial ever did. And here is the beautiful part. Once you truly see yourself, you also begin to recognize what makes you uniquely you. The special qualities, perspectives, and the gifts that only you bring to the world. Honoring this uniqueness becomes an act of self-love itself. The third truth, and this was the most profound for me, you cannot truly love yourself until you know yourself. And you cannot know yourself without spending time alone with your thoughts. We live in a world that is terrified of silence. The average person checks their phone 96 times a day. We fall asleep to Netflix, wake up to social media, and fill every moment in between with noise. Why? Because silence forces us to confront ourselves. I realized I was constantly drowning out my own inner voice with others' opinions about who I should be. Endless comparison through social media, constant distraction through entertainment, busyness that kept me from asking deeper questions. The turning point came when I committed to regular solitude. Morning journaling before checking any device, walks without podcast or music, meditation focused simply on observing my thoughts, digital sunset where all screens go off hours before bed. In these quiet moments, remarkable happened. I began to hear myself beneath the noise of others' expectations. I reconnected with what I truly valued, not what I was told to want. As a philosopher, Pascal observed, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. This solitude is not about isolation. It's about creating space to discover who you really are when no one else is watching. Because you cannot love someone you have never truly met, including yourself. These three practices transformed my relationship with myself. Doing the hard things that build genuine self-respect. Practicing honest self-acceptance with compassion. Creating regular space for solitude and self-discovery. This is not an easy path. You won't find it in a 5-minute self-love hack. It requires courage, consistency, and willingness to be uncomfortable. But I promise you this, when you build self-love this way, it becomes unshakable. External validation becomes less necessary. Criticism loses its sting, and that voice in your head gradually becomes your strongest ally, not your harshest critic. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. When you truly love yourself, not the shallow Instagram version, but the deep, authentic kind, you no longer consent to letting others determine your worth. I would love to hear which of these resonates most with you. Share in the comments below which truth you are going to start practicing. Thank you so much for being here today.